This must have been the wildest group of individuals I have ever been a part of, and that's saying a lot. You guys, we need to get into the Groove Cruise 2024 review and recap, and we have a ton to cover, so let's dive in. But first, a quick message from today's sponsor, Loop Earplugs. Loop was in my pocket all day, every day on Groove Cruise. If you guys need to invest in high fidelity earplugs to protect your hearing from long-term damage, Loop has got your back. I highly recommend the Experience earplugs. Those are made for ravers and music festival goers. They're perfect for live events. They protect your ears up to 18 decibels of noise, so you won't get that ringing in your ears the next day. I personally keep mine in the little carrying case, and I keep them in my fanny pack so that I have them when I'm going to shows and I'm going to festivals, and especially at Groove Cruise. I never knew when I was just going to jump right into the action, so I wanted them on me at all times, and they really helped my hearing because I was up close and personal with the stages, and they perfectly reserve the quality of the sound. So the sets still sound absolutely incredible, but you're not going to hear anything that's going to damage your ears, so the quality is still really, really crisp, but you know you're protecting your hearing, which is amazing. So if you guys want to shop Loop earplugs, you can use our special code LoopXRaveCulture. Our code is LoopXRaveCulture. That will save you guys a discount, and I will also link it down below in the description. You can also browse their other earplugs. They have a variety of styles, colors, anything that you need. So definitely check them out. We love you, Loop Earplugs. Thank you for sponsoring today's episode. All right, fam, welcome back to Rave Culture, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more. I'm so happy to have you here, especially if you are a new listener, a new subscriber, because Groove Cruise is a completely new festival for me to cover, and I think we are really extending our family here, which is super exciting. So if you found me through my vlogs or through this review, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here, GC fam. I'm so excited to be a part of GC fam now. Guys, I just need to start this off by saying, like, I get it now. Do you know what I mean? Like when you finally go to a festival and you're like, I get it. I get it. I've experienced it. We're on board. I'm like a lifelong fan. That is how I feel about Groove Cruise after this experience. Like, we have so much to get into. So in today's episode, I really like to make my reviews and recaps kind of like a combination of both. So I want to share like stories, day by day breakdown, like all of the fun shit with you. So many hilarious moments, and then I really aim for these to be helpful. So if you are considering spending your money in the future on Groove Cruise, this is what I think you should know. So I'll go over tips and advice, things I learned from my first experience, pros and cons, like security, like literally everything you need to know, especially because this involves a cruise, which I haven't been on a cruise since I was literally like 13 years old. I did a Royal Caribbean cruise. This was Norwegian Encore. So I just like was not familiar with the process, didn't really remember anything of how it goes. So now we have that under our belt. And I also want to put this out there. I was not a big cruiser. I do get motion sick. So like that was a concern I had. So I am going to talk about that if that's like a concern for you as well. It really was not an issue for the most part. So we're going to go over all of that today. I will say I am going next year. No fucking questions asked. Actually, my entire group, we have 100% return rate. So next year, really quickly, is bigger and better. Next year is the Royal Caribbean Allure of the Seas. I'm going to put clips in of this fucking boat. I was already tempted, but I was like, let me just do the cruise first and like see if I'm sold on it. Our group on Sunday, maybe even Saturday, was already like, we're rebooking for next year. My entire group and then some. Like, we have been singing the praises. It's so, I can't even say enough good things about it. We'll get into it. But anyways, we are rebooked. If you guys want to book, they are almost sold out for next year. Like, they are selling so fucking fast. Like, within weeks, it will be sold out. And this cruise is almost double the size of the Norwegian Encore. That one, I think, was like a 3,000 capacity, 3,500 maybe. I could be wrong. Royal Caribbean's closer to 6,000. It's the biggest cruise ship festival in history next year. So book with code raveculturecast, all one word, raveculturecast. That will let them know I sent you guys. I appreciate you using my links. It means a lot. It allows me to be able to attend again. So Rave Culture Cast, become a part of our fam, book with us. I'm on deck 12 if you want to book on the same deck as me. My girl Vibe with 8 is coming with me. We're rooming together. I'm going to be hosting activities again. Like, it's going to be fucking amazing. And this ship is insane. It's insane. So do not sleep on that. There's payment plans available, all the good stuff. The code will save you $50 off per person per room. So if you're in a quad, that'll save you $200 off your quad, so on and so forth. So just wanted to plug that because I'm going. I booked my room already. Like, my entire group's going. It's going to be fucking amazing. So anyways, we'll touch on that a little bit more later. I want to dive right into our breakdown. So, also one other quick thing, if you guys want to see my vlogs, all my vlogs are out at this point. So those are going to have like, you'll see exactly what the experience was like, all my clips, like all that fun stuff. And then I also have interviews that I did with artists out on the podcast. So you can go rewatch all of those. That was so much fun. I'll be doing more of those next year. And then a couple other creator friends I want to plug because there honestly wasn't that much Groove Cruise content on YouTube, which is also why I wanted to do this. But my girl living by the F word, Jess, has gone on 11 Groove Cruisers. Her channel has so many incredible resources. Electric Ollie has amazing resources. She did Groove Cruise the last 2 years. Vibe with AIDS vlogs are up. Lauren Hutzel, content from Jess, or A Life with Ash. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone, but there's so many amazing people who have content on Groove Cruise. So definitely go check out their vlogs and their videos as well. All right, I'm going to have my phone next to me because I want to make sure that I'm like looking at my photos and videos as I'm like doing this review and recap. But we're going to do kind of like a day-by-day breakdown starting from the very beginning. So again, this was the Norwegian ship. Next year's Royal Caribbean. I'm sure it'll be similar. So the check-in process and security. Again, I didn't know what to expect. This one went out of Miami, which it goes out of Miami next year. So they give you like the terminal to go to. You go to the port of Miami. It was super easy. I had to get there early, but typically you will download the app and you will pick a check-in time. You will check in through the app a couple days to weeks before the cruise, and then that will all be done for you. So I checked in through the app. I had to get there early for a media tour, but I believe they started boarding at like 10 a.m. through like 1:30, and then that's like the cutoff. So you'll get your check-in time. You go to the port. When you get there were like men who took my luggage. So make sure you have a luggage tag on your luggage with your name, your contact information, and your cabin number. Those things have to be on the luggage tag. So they took my luggage right away. And then this is a huge thing, guys. Bring a carry-on with you. So essentially, you don't know when you're going to see your luggage again. Mine got back to my room around 4 or 5 p.m., which was way earlier than I thought, but you could maybe not see your luggage till like 8 p.m. So bring a change of clothes, bring toiletries, bring like whatever you need to like get you through the day, because there are day and night themes on the cruise, which we'll talk about. So make sure you're bringing like a backpack, a carry-on that will be with you that you're not checking. So just wanted to put that out there first. So that's kind of what I did. They took my luggage. I went in. I got to like bump into Frisky Hug and a couple other creators who were there for the media tour. And then when I checked in, security was a fucking breeze. I'm not going to lie to you. It was like so easy, which I really appreciated. When you went in, you just showed them your Norwegian like reservation number, then you went up, and it was kind of like airport security. So it's very similar. I just, you put your thing through the conveyor belt, walk through the metal detector and everything like that. And then if they need to pull you aside, they'll pull you aside. But it was pretty smooth sailing. The one thing I did notice, I'm like burping. The one thing I did notice is if they were confiscating anything, they were really like flagging people who had alcohol in their bags. So you need to just read the cruise line rules. You could bring some liquids with you, and I think it was like up to 2 bottles of wine, but everyone I saw that was getting flagged was because they had like wine or something in their bag, and then they had to check the alcohol at like an alcohol checkpoint station, which was interesting. So to me, it wasn't worth it for like a bottle or two of wine or champagne. Like I'd rather just like get drinks at the bar. You could do the drink package. So I don't think it's worth it, but again, it could save you a couple bucks. But other than that, security was like pretty smooth sailing. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, I want to mention, so the port. So also when you check in, the waiting area was actually really fun. And this is something I will give credit to the Groove Cruise team. I feel like they really cared about the tiny details. So things like waiting in line and stuff like that, like they always had music going. It was a party vibe from the beginning. Like Oh, we'll just talk about the crowd and the vibes because this is one of the best crowds I've ever been a part of. Like, so fucking fun. But like, as soon as you went through security and check-in, everyone there was like ready to party. People were in their outfits already because day one is the theme represent. So you could represent literally anything where you're from, your favorite sports teams. If you were a virgin, which means it's your first Groove Cruise, you are supposed to wear white. So we were in all white. But so much creativity right off the bat. So in the waiting like terminal, they had a DJ there. They had like water and refreshments and stuff like that. So it was like a party like from the beginning. And then I forget when they opened the gates. I feel like I got on, let me see what the timing says on my phone. I think it was like around 11. Yeah, almost noon. We got on the boat and like started getting on the boat. So after that, there is a quick like security checkpoint. So if you guys are familiar with cruises, you know they like have safety checks. When I did this way back in the day, it was like this whole announcement that came on the speaker and like everyone had to stop what they were doing. It's not like that anymore, which I appreciate so much. Like on your card, because you will get a little card, which side note to that, somebody was giving these out and I appreciated it. They had like a little card holder and they attached it to like a scrunchie. So I wore it as like a wristband all weekend, but you can get a lanyard and wear it around your neck. So get like a little card holder thing. That's what you use to tap and scan into everything. So on your card, it says where you're supposed to go for your safety briefing. So when I got on, you did that immediately. We literally just like met up in a group. They literally talked for like a minute, gave you a safety briefing, and they were like, come here if there's an emergency. And that was it. And the safety briefing was done. So that was like super easy. So then from there, what I did is mine was a little different. I had like a media luncheon. And we did a tour of some of the suites. So that was like really special and really cool. So I got to meet other people in the industry, which was awesome. And then Jason, who's the founder of Wet Travel and Groove Cruise, like came out and did like a whole talk with us. And we had a nice lunch in one of the restaurants. So that was kind of like how I started my day. And then I got to tour one of the Haven suites, which on that cruise were like $50,000 for the trip, like crazy expensive suites, but they were absolutely beautiful. So that's kind of like how my day started. Let me see if there's anything else. I will mention we got very lucky with the weather. I'll put that out there as well. Like it was absolutely beautiful the whole time, even for the island party. So that was really nice. So one other thing that I liked about this is it does feel different than like a normal festival or a camping festival. Obviously, like this does feel more like a vacation, which I really appreciated, being that it was like mid-January and cold as fuck in New Jersey. Like I got to go out there, you're on the water, you get an island party. It just felt like beautiful vibes. If you want to just hang and sunbathe, some days you can. So I really liked that this felt like a vacation too. So that was awesome. Okay, layout of the ship. So I was not concerned, but I was like, I wonder how the ship is going to feel. Like it just looks so fucking massive. I was like, I'm going to lose people. It's going to be like, it's going to take forever to get places. It was quite the opposite, which I really appreciated for such a massive ship. And again, next year's is even bigger, so I'm sure we might run into some things with that. But it was really easy to navigate. And once you got the lay of the land, like we knew the ship like the back of our hand, and I could easily get to sets like no fucking problem. So one thing they told us at the Virgin meetup, which happened on day one at like 3 p.m., 10 out of 10 recommend going to this if you're new. Go to it. They have like a little intro meeting. They just like prep you and get you hyped for the weekend. Everyone in there was wearing white. You get to meet other like Virgin cruisers. So that was super fun. So they told us at that meetup, they were like, hey, one thing to note about the boat is decks like 9 through 14 or whatever it was are just rooms. So don't go to any of those floors unless you're going to your room. And then decks, whatever, like 5 through 8 are restaurants and you know, different activities and stuff. And then 15 and higher is like food and decks. So that was helpful to like keep in mind, like, okay, 9 through 14, those are just rooms. And I was on deck 11. That's where my room was. So that was really helpful. And then I forget exactly how it was, but I think it was like a lot of the restaurants were in the front of the ship. And then a lot of the like activities and clubs and things like that were towards the back. So that was just also like really helpful to navigate because like I took the stairs a lot of the times unless I was going like a really far distance. So you could easily just like go up and down the stairs and like jump from restaurant to restaurant or club to club, which is where the venues were for the stages. So it was super easy to get around. It was not hard. Like sometimes the elevators were packed. So you just got to like make your way around the ship, but you can easily go up and down the stairs, no problem. And there are ADA accommodations as well if you guys need. Another funny thing that I thought was really clever is on the carpets themselves. The carpets have fish on them, not literal fish, but like patterns of fish. And on the carpet, when the fish face towards the front of the ship. So when you go to your room, you like look at the floor, and if the fish are swimming forwards, that is the way towards the front of the ship. And if you walk against the current, you're going to the back of the boat. So I was in the back of the boat, so every time I like walked into the hallway, I would make sure I was swimming. I was walking against the current of the fish. So that was just like a little cute, helpful tip for the layout of the ship. But other than that, it was like super easy again. There was like the main pool deck, so that was kind of like your main stage vibe. And then they used so many venues inside, and I really loved that because there were like super small, intimate venues, because like the Comedy Club, that was a venue, or the atrium on deck 6, like that was like a bigger open space that deck 7 overlooked, so you could like sit up around and like overlook the atrium stage, or you could be inside on the floor. So everything felt super intimate. You get to see like these massive fucking artists in such a small and intimate space. So that was also so cool, because it's like you're literally up and close and personal. Like John Summit played the last day, like just for us. Like no one else was here. It was just the people on the cruise. Like Tiesto played the private island beach party. When is that ever going to happen again? Like, so that was just really cool. Like a lot of the venues were very small and intimate, and because there's so many, there were 11 stages, like nothing ever felt really crowded. Like you could just walk right up to it. So it just was like a really special space, and I'll talk more about the stages in a little bit, but let me see if there's anything else I missed as far as like layout of the ship. They also used like, so some of the restaurants, like the Smokehouse, that was like a barbecue restaurant. Then we did some activities in there, but at nighttime it was also a stage. So a lot of things were like repurposed. And also I thought it was like a fun fact about the ship, because we were like, how the fuck do they build this, right? Like it's an insane the amount of work that goes into it. So the team gets on the ship a week before and starts building the stages, and then they get on like first thing in the morning, and like they're literally building stages and like setting shit up like as it's happening. And one thing they did new this year, which I appreciated so much, is they changed the decor for every theme, which is so much fucking work and details. So they used a lot of like inflatables, but there's like a day theme and a night theme, and they turned the decor over for every single theme, and it was super cute. So I really, really appreciated those details, and I like loved how that all looked. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. We'll get into food in a second. So then next thing, so Virgin Cruisers, I already touched on this, but again, so many resources for you guys. Like I will go to the Virgin Cruise meetup next year anyway, because like we'll probably have Virgins with us next year, and we need to sacrifice them to the ship. So I'll definitely go again, but it was really cute that they did that for everyone. And who knows what I'll use as my represent theme next year. I'll have to think about it some more. But let's talk about the rooms really quickly. So I ended up doing a balcony room. 1,000,000% happy with my decision to do that. All of the rooms are nice though. Like everyone was comfortable and had like a really good experience. So the only thing I'll say is like my friends who were like 4 people, like a quad interior, that definitely looked tight. It's for sure doable, but like my girl Emily Dell did some posts about it. There were like 4 girls in an interior room with like all their luggage, all their makeup and shit like that. So they were like on top of each other. So it is cheaper to do a quad interior room. But like 3 of our guy friends in our group, Peyton, Barry, and Andrew, there were 3 of them in an interior room. So that gave them like a little bit more space, but totally doable. The rooms were way nicer than I thought they would be. So I got an ocean view balcony room. I ended up being by myself. I didn't mention this yet, but my girl Ryan, I love you. She had a family thing come up and had to back out. So I had the room to myself. So it was super fucking nice. Last time when I did a cruise, like I said, I was like a teen. I had an interior room. So it just was so nice to like open the door, pop outside, see the ocean, see the sunsets, like just take a moment to decompress in the room. Like I really, really appreciated that. And then the balconies, like I had a king size, or maybe not king size, maybe it's queen, but I had my bed together. You can separate them if you want to do like 2 double beds. And then there's like a sofa. Really nice sized bathroom, like showers were great. No complaints about the rooms. Like the rooms were super comfortable. And then, like I mentioned, my luggage arrived around like 4:35 p.m., which was earlier than I expected it to be there. So then I kind of just like set up shop. One tip I will recommend, because I loved this. This was a tip my friend Ashley had given me. I bought a plastic shoe organizer that like hangs on the back of your door, and I used it to organize all my shit, and it was so fucking helpful. So it fit on my shower door, so I hung it on my shower door, and I put like all my toiletries in the little like shoe compartment. So like my camera equipment, my chargers, my earplugs, toiletries, sunscreen. So every day when I woke up, everything was like displayed for me, and I could see what I needed for the day, and it was just like super easy for me to find things. So highly recommend getting a plastic shoe organizer for your room. All right, let's keep this going. I'm gonna have so much in this. Okay, so the other things about the room, they were really quiet. That's the other beautiful thing. It's not like a camping festival. Like you go back to your room and it's fucking quiet and you have like peace. And I did go back to my room a couple times to decompress. Like I did get very overstimulated. Again, this was my first festival back post baby, and it was just overstimulating. There's a lot of fucking things going on. So I would like go back to my room and like sit or like breathe and take a minute. I did get motion sick a little bit one day, and I personally went back to the room and like napped and felt better afterwards. I was nervous if I would like feel the rocking more, but like I thought that kind of like helped lull me to sleep a little bit. And there was only one day I really felt like the ship moving. Other than that, so for the rules might be different next year for Royal Caribbean. You weren't supposed to decorate your doors. People did it anyway, and I loved it. I thought the door decorations were so cute and so funny. Groove Cruise did give us some nice gifts, which I appreciated. They gave us luggage tags, lanyards, and they gave us these magnetic dry erase boards. So you could like, a lot of people had those out on their doors and like wrote messages on them. So next year I'm probably going to decorate my door because I just missed out on it and want to do that next year, and I appreciated it. So I think that should be everything for the rooms. All right, let me talk a little bit more about motion sickness for any of my other girlies or guys who feel that pain. So like I said, I get motion sick. So what I did is I brought Dramamine with me, the non-drowsy version. That is important. Get non-drowsy, otherwise you're not going to last. And then my girl Cammie was amazing. She made all of us these little like pouches with like Advil and Dramamine patches and like all these other things. So I like doubled up, and it was very necessary for me. So they have these like patches you can put on behind your ears. I put on 2 every day, and I took my Dramamine in the morning, and that helped me. There was one day which happened to be like a rockier day that I forgot to take both things first thing in the morning, and then I went and did interviews, and they were on the 15th floor in the front of the ship, and you feel the rocking more in the front of the ship. So I like just got sick while I was doing those interviews, and it like took me a minute to get over that. So like next time I know I have to take my medication in the morning, I have to put the patches on. The wristbands as well, the motion sick wristbands also work really, really well. So if you get motion sick, you can totally do this cruise. I didn't really feel it the other times, and I was like so busy and distracted at nighttime. So I never really thought about it other than that, but it's totally doable. Just make sure you have everything that you need. And then keep that in mind if you guys are booking rooms for next year. Again, they say the back of the boat is like smoother. So I booked my room in the back of the boat again. Okay. Food. Let's talk about food and alcohol. So this is definitely a selling point for me because you have 1,000,001 options, and I'm super excited for next year, but that's the cool thing. Like there's so many restaurants, there's buffets, there's snacks, there's 24-hour service, there's room service. Like there's so much food. So included in your package is usually like the buffet. So this one was called the Garden Cafe. The Manhattan Room is a restaurant that was included for breakfast and dinner. And then there was something called the Local Bar and Grill on the 7th floor that overlooked the atrium. That was included. Anything else you pay extra. So like hibachi, Mexican, there was like a nice Italian steakhouse, like stuff like that you would pay for your meals. So we chose to do one group dinner, which was really, really nice. I'm glad we did that. I think we did it on Friday, right? No, we did it on Thursday night. The second night we did Food Republic, which was an Asian fusion restaurant. So I highly recommend doing like a group group meal at some point, but the buffet had literally anything and everything you can imagine. So I really liked the food. And the one thing I will say, if you watch my vlogs, like unfortunately I got food poisoning the day I left for Miami, which I forgot to mention this, but if you guys obviously are going down, you need to fly in the day before the cruise. Do not try to travel the day of the cruise unless you're driving, because you have a very small window to get on the boat. And if your flight is delayed and you miss the boat, you're not going on Groove Cruise. So you need to fly in the day or two before, however much time you want to spend in Miami. So I flew in on Tuesday, the day before, and I got food poisoning that day, and it was fucking horrendous, and it literally fucked my stomach up the whole trip. So that was the one thing that sucked, and hopefully we don't deal with that next year. Is like I was not hungry. I had really weird food aversions, and I just really wasn't eating the whole trip, and it pissed me off because I fucking love to eat, and there was so much good food, and I literally couldn't get anything down. So I tried to eat what I could. I had like small meals, but the food was amazing. I didn't do room service, but like I'll definitely do that next time for sure. Hold on, I lost my spot here. But another pro, which I really appreciated, is like you can walk around with your food. So that was hysterical. Like people would like go to the buffet and like walk around. And like the last night this guy was walking around, he was like, veggie empanadas, like freaking out. And he had an entire plate of veggie empanadas and we were dying. So people would like go get mac and cheese and chicken tenders and all that, and then like go to the theater stage and like sit down in the theater and eat for the afters at like 2-3 in the morning. So that was really nice. You could like walk around with your food, which we appreciated. And then let's see if there's anything else. Other than that, drink packages, I would say. So there were endless amounts of bars, so that was really great. Like every stage pretty much had its own bars, and I personally did not do the drink package, and the reason for that was because I was working pretty much all day, and then I was like off at night, so I was like, I'm not going to be drinking the entire day, so that's like more than half the drink package that I'm not going to be using, and it's not cheap. I think the drink package was like $99 a day if you bought it pre-cruise, which I highly recommend. Get the package before, because if you get it on board, it's more expensive. And like, I'll just use this example. My 3 friends, like Peyton, Andrew, and Barry, like the minute they got on the cruise, they were like, we fucked up. And they went straight to the drink package line, and then they bought the drink package on the cruise and they loved it. They have no regrets. But if you want to save money, just book it beforehand if you know you're going to be drinking. You also have to get the entire room. So if one of you wants to drink package, the entire room has to get it. You can't just do it individually. Your whole room has to get it. So just keep that in mind. So I didn't do it. So I bought drinks, or my friends with drink packages did like give me drinks, which is against the rules. But you know, I wasn't drinking that much, so they would go up and like get 2 drinks and give me one. So yeah, again, it's probably worth it if you're going to be drinking a lot throughout the day and the night. And then there's a premium drink package. The premium one includes like Red Bulls and top shelf stuff. So just like read the fine print on all that. And again, it's so nice because even when you dock for the island party, food is included, and you just still use your like tap wristband, and all your drinks and stuff are included if you got the package. So that's all like really, really good to know. And I do think it's worth it again. They did have free water on every floor, which I very much appreciated. They had iced water, just like huge jugs, and you could just fill up little cups, or you could fill up your water bottles. Definitely bring a water bottle, bring a lunch box. I had my lunch box. So plenty of water on every floor. That was really nice. And I think that should be it for food and drink packages. Let me see if I missed anything else. I'm trying to think my favorite thing that I ate, because I really didn't eat too much. I wanted to do the smokehouse and I didn't get to it, but okay, let's see. Next thing, I'm going to go over the outfit themes, because this was probably my favorite part of the group cruise. Other than like the vibes and the music and stuff like that, like I'm such a sucker for outfits. I fucking love getting dressed up. So this was like right up my alley, and I loved the themes that we had this year. So basically, like I mentioned, you will have a day theme and a night theme. So the first day is always represent every single year. So again, wear white if you're a virgin. There's different colors for different years you've been on Groove Cruise, but then you can represent whatever you want. So the first theme for us at night was You Are the Universe. So our group did like astronauts and aliens. And then I think my other favorite themes were 50 Shades of Nintendo. Like the fucking creativity. Guys, there's a whole crafting group as well. There's Facebook groups for Groove Cruise that you should join. People's creativity, it was fucking hysterical. Like I could not stop laughing at the outfits people came up with. Excuse me. Like it was just so funny. I loved it. The other themes were like dancing through the decades. There was a jungle theme. There was like mermaids. Captain's Jubilee, which was all like glittery and sparkly. So like there were just different themes like throughout the whole time. I will say rewear your rave outfits. I did not buy a new outfit for everything, maybe for like half of them. I rewore a ton of things I already owned. I reworked things. So do not feel pressure. That is so expensive to buy 8 outfits because it's a 4-day cruise. Like I know Vibe with Aid rewore like everything in her closet and just like bought accessories. So do not feel pressure. You don't have to go overboard. I will say it was more casual during the day. So if you want to do just like a bathing suit that matches the theme with a cover up, totally fine, especially if you're just going to be like hanging, if you're going to go in the water slides. And then at night, people got like more into themes. Some people would wear one theme for the day. So you don't have to change. You can totally wear the same outfit every day. You don't have to do the themes if you don't want to. It's just more fun if you like play along. So it's totally your prerogative. And I'll even say like the last night, which was like the closing party, I was so done. Like I was so exhausted, so tired. I didn't wear my outfit. I literally wore fucking leggings and a sweatshirt. I just couldn't be bothered. I didn't want to put on makeup. Like I could not be fucked. I was like, absolutely not. I'm so done. I'm not putting on makeup, anything. So whatever you want to do, you can do. The other amazing thing about being on a cruise ship is it is so easy to get back to your room. So people would go and change for the afters. They would wear their outfit and be like, oh, it's 2 a.m. I'm staying up all night till the sunrise. I'm going to go change into sweatpants. So like, it's just so nice that you can do that. I will say too, bring gifts. The gifts were so top tier. Like just the creativity, things that people were handing out, the props that they had were just like some of the best part. And it just adds to the culture of it. So like, we got so many, like we got these like mini light up mushrooms, which were so cute. Aid brought like a million finger puppets with her. I brought my mustaches again. Like people were just giving out the funniest shit. The last day we met our friend Joey, he was dressed up for the 50 Shades of Nintendo theme. He was the star and he literally had these like stickers of like the Nintendo like gold star with like BDSM bondage on it. It was because the theme was 50 Shades. Like it was just so fucking funny. Our friend Content with Jess on the island beach day, like she made our day. It was like the mermaids and sailors themed. She brought blow up pirate swords. She brought eye patches. She brought mini fluffy sharks. Like it was so funny. And she just kept like handing us toys and we were just having the time of our lives. So next year I am going in with the game plan. Like I'm bringing different toys. I got like 100 mini Pokemon figurines for my Pokemon outfit because I was Pikachu. So I was just like walking around with a bag of Pokemon and people were like sticking their hands in like picking a Pokemon. So stickers, gifts, like whatever you can do to like enhance your experience and other people's experiences, like do that. It was just so fun. And like I mentioned, the decor was changed for all of the themes. So that was one of my favorite aspects of the weekend. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, like I said, I was more casual with my outfits and I was also working. So yeah, I didn't like go super crazy with certain things. I think that should be it for outfits. Let's see if there's anything else. No, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, and then bag wise, I kind of mixed it up. So I wore my like fanny pack, my snack pack some days, and then I wore my lunchbox pretty much every night. But again, depending on where you're at, like the theater stage has seats, which is amazing. So I could put my lunchbox down and then I filled it up with water, but I also brought my water canteen. So bring like different options for bags, like depending on what you want. And then group costumes are also a great option. Like so many people were walking around and like had things planned as a group, so that's like a good thing if you have like your whole rave fam going with you. And then I'll also say just like bring casual clothes again for the beach. And then I also did a yoga class, so I needed to have like active wear with me. There's also a gym on board. I had plenty of friends who were like working out. They did like spin classes and stuff. So just, you know, depending on the activities you're doing, bring something that makes sense for that. Okay, let's talk about stage production really quickly. So the stages, like I mentioned, There was the main pool deck, which was like had this massive LED screen, which was so cool. Like the visuals were amazing. Sound production on everything was really, really good. Then the theater stage is probably my favorite stage, and there's typically a theater on every boat. So the theater on the Royal Caribbean Allure of the Seas is huge, but it had this like lighting structure all in the ceiling. They had so many lasers in there, like it was perfection. And there were theater seats, so we were just like sitting down and vibing out, and it was so nice. The only thing with that is like when it was the really crowded sets, like LPGOB and Diplo and stuff, it did get like really packed in the theater, and it got really hot in there. The atrium was like the main inside stage, like the biggest inside stage. Then there was the social, the cavern club, the smokehouse. So a lot of those were just like clubs that they turned into like mini stages that were like much smaller internal, like inside intimate spots. There was a silent disco. I didn't see that. There's a million and one things going on. And then there was the casino deck, which was another huge thing. So there's literally a casino on the deck, which is amazing, on the boat. And you would just walk through, and it was just like a mini pop-up set. So there was a couple times I went on side quests, and I went over to like the casino sets, and those were so fucking fun. And then there's also surprise sets. So for example, we did 2 amazing surprise pop-up sets with Deepfake, who is a Detroit techno act, and they are fucking incredible. Excuse me. They're also like anonymous. You don't know who they are. I've met them a bunch of times. I have no idea who they are. But they did 2 surprise sets. So one was on the main pool deck. They literally, I'll have to pop up videos here. You can check out my vlogs. They just like popped up with CDJs and just played like a 45-minute set. And then they also have a razzle room on board, which is a surprise room that you have to find and discover on your own. Deepfake does a scavenger hunt. So if you participate in the scavenger hunt, you might be able to find the razzle room. But we found the razzle room, and they decorated it from fucking head to toe with all of their designs and like pattern. It was sick. So we went and saw that. So you just never know. There might be sets in the elevators. There might be Twister in the elevators. There's all kinds of surprises and shit. You just have no idea, and you just got to be in the right time at the right place, and keep your ears and eyes open, because you never know what's going to happen. So I think that's everything I want to say as far as like stages go. I'll also just say too, like the beauty of the artists on this cruise is that it gives them the freedom to like do whatever they want to do. So most of the artists are on the cruise the entire time. Like some of the headliners, like Tiesto played once, Diplo played, and like Bounce, John Summit played like the last night, and afters, that was it. So like the really big artists may only come on for one, but for the most part, your artists might play for multiple sets, which is so nice, because if you miss one, you can see them again, and usually the sets are different. So like LPGOB played like a sunset set, then she played like a late night set, and they were very different vibes. Trifecta played like 5 sets. So he played like a back-to-back with Blastoids. He played a psytrance set. Then he played a more melodic set. Like it just was really, really cool to see them exploring. I didn't get to see it, but I know Joel Corey. Guys, we are the biggest fan of Joel Corey after this. Like I already loved Joel Corey, but my entire group is like now fangirling for him so hard. He's beautiful man, but he is just so friendly, so nice. He was just like hanging out in the crowd, fucking vibing, having the time of his life. He played like the sail away set, which was like as the boat was sailing away on day 1, he played that like sunset set. Then he played a back-to-back with Marcus Schultz that was like impromptu. They played like a techno set together that apparently was amazing. And then Joel Corey played like an after set that was a techno set, which he never plays like techno. So just throwing that out there, there's like so many cool things as far as like sets go. And again, it is 96 hours of nonstop music. So if you want to stay up the whole fucking time and not sleep, God bless you. You can do that. I didn't mention this, but the first 2 nights I went to bed around 2 a.m. I know my limits. I can't hang sometimes, guys. That was the best decision for me, because I had to be up at 10 a.m. I had activities I was hosting. I had interviews I was doing. So like for me, I stayed up as long as I could. I think night 3, I made it till like 2:33 a.m. And then the last night I made it till like 4 a.m. And that was like brutal. But take naps, do what you can. A lot of my friends would like go back and they would sleep for a while and then they would wake up. Some people would go sleep till like 1 a.m. and then they'd wake up. You got to do what you got to do to stay up. So it's completely up to you. There's literally sets at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. for the sunrise, like throughout the whole next day. So you can pick and choose your own adventure, whatever you want to do, but highly, highly, highly recommend napping and getting your sleep in. Okay, other things with the artists. So another beautiful thing about cruises, which this was like a huge selling point for me personally, because I just really wanted to like meet artists and I wanted to like network and, you know, obviously like meet other people in the industry, meet you guys. And with the cruise, like we're all hanging out together. So we're able to like meet up and spend more time with each other. I met so many subscribers, which was amazing. Like anyone who ever comes up to me who just says like, you watched a video or my videos help you prepare, or you literally like, I met some of you guys and you were like, I'm here because of you. Like that makes me want to cry. Like when you're like, I used your code. I'm here by myself. I just wanted to come. Like, I just hope that you have the best experience possible, and that makes me so happy, and I hope that like these reviews and things like that help you. But next year we're gonna do like a legit meetup, because I fucked up this year. I didn't like know the layout of the ship, obviously, so I picked a meetup on day one and it was like complete and utter chaos and I couldn't find anyone, so that was like a wash. So next year I will be much smarter and wiser about like the meetup spot and location and timing and all that. So we will have a much bigger meetup next year, you guys, I promise. But anyway, okay, so much to go. So the artists hanging out. So this cruise, I spoke to some artists and they gave this feedback, which I really appreciate it. They said that the Groove Cruise crowd was very respectful and that makes them want to come back. So like if you see artists hanging out, if you see them eating, like they are on the same ship as you. Like they don't really have anywhere else to go. So be respectful, respect their space. If they're eating, let them eat. Like try to find them later or come up to them later. Like, you know, don't just stick a camera in their face. And they're so friendly and they're so nice. They're literally just hanging out. So I hung out with like the Ophelia crew the whole time. So like Emma and Courtney from Gem and Tori, Trivecta, like Amity, Midas, like all of them are so amazing. So it was really, really cool to just hang out with all of them. My friend Kess and Shannon, Fit to Rave, like brought me into that whole circle. So it just was awesome, like just hanging out with them and having a good time. Rico and Miela, I love them as well. So yeah. The artists are just hanging out. Like I mentioned, we were at what set were we at? We were at Max Styler, and Joel Corey was just like vibing with his manager behind us the whole time. And then we just started talking to him and he was so nice. So like they're just like literally chilling in the crowd, hanging out, having fun. So you have the opportunity for sure to meet them, which brings me to my next point, the activities. So this is a whole nother fucking thing we can get into here. So on top of literally everything else you have going on, you have 1,000,001 activities, and you can go back and look at like the schedule if you want to get an idea of what's happening. But artists have their own activities as well. So if you have specific artists that you like want to meet up with, you want to spend time with them, they have artist hosted dinners and they have artist activities. So Trivecta did a Hot Ones challenge that we went and checked out. I did yoga with LPGOB, so I got to see her and spend a little time with her at the end of yoga. I know Disco Lines did yoga as well. I'm trying to think what else. I hosted, well, I'll talk about mine in a second. There was like, yeah, Gem and Tori did the hibachi dinner. I know Joe Corey did the zip lining. Like there's like all kinds of excursions you can sign up for. Some of them cost extra money, others do not. So, and it's like, they will open the artist activities later on in the year and then you sign up for them and it's like limited to how many people can sign up. So if you have things you want to do, like I think Lily Palmer did like Mario Kart competition or something. So there's artist hosted activities. Then there's team hosted activities. So I hosted activities. I did the scavenger hunt on board this year, and then I did Jeopardy with Adam Scott, which was really fucking fun. And then I hosted a panel with Josh from When the Music Stops, and we interviewed Jason Buchema, who is the founder of Groove Cruise. So that was really cool. Neon Owl hosted a bunch of panels with artists. There's just like 1,000,001 activities that you can do on board. So tons of stuff to do during the day. My girl Vibe with Aid hosted a really amazing intention setting workshop, which was like a great way to start off our weekend. So that was fun. Like I said, the Virgin meetup, there's an LGBTQ meetup, there's a military meetup. So check out the schedule, find something to do. There's a million ways to make friends, meet other people, like all that good stuff. And I will just say, like, that was one thing. I was walking around the ship and I just like noticed it and I appreciated it so much. Like I walked by, there was a wine tasting because there was a wine cellar, and I was like, that's so fun. Like there was a whole rave fam just sitting there like tasting wines. I was like, that's such a fun thing to sign up and do. Like literally there's 1,000,001 things that you can do and you can't get to it all, but it's just really fun to just like walk around and see what's going on. I also found the Twister elevator, which I appreciated because I had no idea that existed, but I literally just clicked the elevator button. I wanted to get on the elevator and I opened it and they're just playing a game of Twister in the elevator, which was so fucking funny. So like there's just surprises around every corner. You never know what you're going to run into. They do a lot of stuff on the main pool deck. So there was like shuffling workshops, yoga, like I said, there's a crafting bar. So there's like a million things. I could go on and on. Let me see if I forgot any other activities, but that's the stuff I signed up for. The Martian Circus, guys. There's a whole Martian Circus, which is this like live immersive psychedelic circus. I'll put it that way. So that was like a whole experience we went and did. I tried to go get my tarot cards read and they had a way too long of a line, so I didn't get to do that. But I want to do that next time. There was a tattoo shop, so the Plastic Flamingo, you can make appointments. My friends got tattoos. I think I'm going to get a tattoo on the next one. I wish I had done it, but yeah, you could get tattoos done. There was like 7 or 8 weddings on board. I walked through a wedding on board. I witnessed a proposal. What else? There's just like so many fucking things. There was a moon ceremony. There's a celebration of life ceremony. So if you've lost somebody and you want to celebrate them, go to that. There's just so many like beautiful things that you can be a part of. So yeah, next year I want to like do some things that I didn't get to do this year. And I will definitely be hosting an activity. I don't know if it's going to be Jeopardy or something new, but definitely will keep you posted on what activities I host and what panels I host so that I can see you guys. But yeah, could go on and on about the activities, but that is just like one of the really, really fun things. Like there's something to do around the clock. Okay, let's talk. I didn't mention this yet, but Wi-Fi and service. So if you are somebody that wants to be in contact with people back home, if you are working or for whatever reasons, you can purchase Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you're not going to have service. It's going to be like a blackout zone. So I purchased premium Wi-Fi because I was working, and it was like over $200 for the trip, so it's not cheap. But I think if you do like the regular package, it was $20 per day or something. I bought Wi-Fi for 2 devices, so it was more expensive. But yeah, our group, like some people decided to get it on board. Not everyone had it, but we made sure that like at least one person from each like group had it so we could text each other. So that's an option if you guys want to get that. And it was only spotty like one day. We had like issues with it one day, but other than that, it was pretty good. All right, fam, we're getting to the end here. So let's talk about the island day because this was a whole other beautiful part of the cruising experience. And I think this just added to it. And our whole group like loved this day. And it was another reason I think that we rebooked so quickly because so one thing that was different, this one happened to be that the island day was also the last day of the cruise, which is not how it's typically done. Like next year, I think we go to Labadee, Haiti, which is a private island, a private area for Royal Caribbean. I think it's on the 3rd day, and then there's one more day at sea after that. So it was a little tricky this year because it was like everyone went so hard for the island party, and then you had to rally because it was the last night, and like John Summit was playing. So it was a little different this year, but we went to Great Stirrup Cay in the Bahamas, which was fucking beautiful. And we had great weather. So how this whole process worked, we had tandem boats. So basically in the morning, they are pretty good about getting you off the boat. Like they come on the loudspeaker multiple times and they're like, hey guys, get over to the boats. Hey guys, get over to the boat. So they're like trying to get you off the boat. We did a breakfast that morning in the Manhattan room because we hadn't tried that yet. So that was like the sit down breakfast that was included. The food was really, really good. The service was very slow there, but I'm glad we tried something else. So we did like a group breakfast and, I think the boats fit like 400 or 500 people. I could be wrong, but we all got on the tandem boat. It was super easy. You just have to bring your room card with you again. You don't need to bring cash, ID, like you don't need any of that. So that was nice. They also give you towels because that was something I was wondering. I was like, oh, do I need to bring a beach towel with me? You don't. They give you towels for the beach. So we got nudged off. I think we probably got over to the island at like 10 or 10:30. Let me see. We went pretty early. We were one of the first boats. Yeah, we were on the boat by 10:20 a.m. So we went over there, and then again, food was included. So there was one main like buffet, and that was included. So you just tapped your wristband. Again, if you got the drink package, that was included. Otherwise, there was like a Bacardi bar and there was a Patron bar. So I just did like pina coladas that day, and that was like perfection. And then they have literally a stage set up there. So they build the stage like that day. It's incredible what their team is able to pull off. So we had Max Low, Disco Lines, and Tiesto, which again, the fact that we got to see Tiesto on the beach, like honestly, I haven't seen Tiesto in a couple of years, and he was fucking amazing, and it was beautiful, and he played so many throwbacks. Disco Lines was amazing. Like it just was such a good day. 10 out of 10 recommend bringing your earplugs still, because if you are in the front of the stage, in front of the speakers, it is fucking loud. So bring your sunscreen, whatever else you got to bring. You're literally just dancing on the beach. The stage is built on the beach. There were 2 stages, actually. I only went to the one, though. People were swimming in the water. There was a zip line. Like, there was just so many things you could do on the island day as well. So that was really, really fun. And I do recommend going early so you can take full advantage. I believe in Labadee, I know Vibe with Aid was saying this, I don't think it's the tandem boats next year. I'm pretty sure it's a port where the ship pulls right up and you walk off the boat. So that will be really nice if that's the case. Let me see if there's anything else from the island today. We just had like the best fucking time. Like we were on like crackhead energy on the island day. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it was just like the last day. And it was also like nice. Again, like as somebody who gets motion sick, it was just nice to like be off the boat, get a break. It really felt like a vacation. Like you're in this the beautiful Bahamas. Like again, my friend Jess like had all these toys and props that she brought with her. My friends went and did zip lining. Like it just was a beautiful fucking day. It was just so fun. We were having the time of our lives. And then after that, the only thing with that is like I was hosting my panel at 6 p.m. that day, like interviewing Jason. So like I couldn't get too drunk or fucked up or anything like that because I literally had to go work. So I had to like get my ass back on the boat. And then getting back on the boat, I will say we lined up pretty quickly just because I had like that commitment to make. But the line got really long. So when they're like, hey guys, like you can get back on the boat. I guess it's a little different because this was tandem boats. So they could only fill up so many people. It'll probably be different next year because you're docked and you can walk right on the boat. But the line got really long. It took us about like an hour to get back on the boat. But again, Groove Cruise came through. They had music playing. They had DJs. They were handing out water to people online. So like that was really great. They really think about those tiny little details. They had DJs on the tandem boats. Like I just appreciated all those small things that they did to just like make your experience better. So you're not just standing there in silence, like bored. So very much appreciated all of that. And then for the last night, again, it was like, you know, the final night. So what I noticed that a lot of people did, and I would recommend, is a lot of people who wanted to like stay up through sunrise and just get off the boat, they went back and like slept for a while. So like slept through dinner till like 10, 11 p.m., woke up 8, and then stayed awake until they got off the boat. I didn't have time for a nap. So again, this is like, it's hard when you're working. So I ended up like going back, then I ate, then I rallied. I didn't change. I just like, well, I changed out of my beach outfit, but then I just put on like my sweatpants or whatever. And then I made it to like 4 a.m. So I rallied as much as I could, went back to the room, slept, and then like they got on the loudspeaker, you guys. Let's talk about disembarkment for a second. I think at maybe 6:30 in the morning, maybe 7. And like, I didn't know how they were going to get us off the boat. Like I didn't know how quickly it was. And I was trying to ask people the night before. If you know the song by Mark Rebellet, where he's like, get the fuck out of bed, bitch, go. Boom, 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 boom.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch, go. Get up, and get the guy go on. Gotta wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
They blasted that through the fucking speakers on the cruise. Like, first off, Jason comes on every morning and he's like, good morning, Groove Cruisers. And he does his whole announcement. He was on the horn at like 6:45, 7 a.m. And it's consistent. It's like every 5 minutes, guys. Like, it is nonstop. They get you the fuck off the boat quickly. So I honestly wrote down, like, it gave me anxiety because I was down bad. Like, I got really sick after Groove Cruise. I'm still getting over it, but like, I was so tired. I think I only slept 2.5 hours. Then they come on the loudspeaker. They're like trying to get you the fuck off the boat. Mark Rebel is screaming in your ear. I'm like scrambling. I like kind of packed the night before, but you know, then my friends are knocking on the door and they're like, we're going to go. And I'm like, guys, give me like 5 fucking minutes. Like, I was like having a panic attack. So how I will personally do it next time, I'm not like I can function on no sleep type of person. What I will probably do next time, depending on who the artist is, like, I need to go to bed at like 1 or 2 a.m. the last night. Like, I need to sleep. I can't, no. Like, I can't not sleep again. I was fucking miserable the next morning. Like, it was so hard, and then had to like fly home that day. So that's up to you. A lot of my friends stayed and got a hotel that night because it was a Sunday. I have a child. Like, I had to fly home. So next year's is a Thursday and a Monday. So I'm like debating if I'm going to either like fly straight home again or if I'm going to stay for a night. But we were off the boat by like 8:30 a.m. I want to say. And my flight was at like 2. So I was like able to make the flight no problem. But you might want to give yourself just like a little bit of wiggle room. So anyway, disembarkment was super easy. Other than that, like, you literally just packed your shit up, walked off the boat. Like, I think we went down to like the 7th floor or the 6th floor, something like that, and you just like tap out and then you're off. Funny story though, and this is like of no fault of Groove Cruise, but there happened to be the Miami Marathon the same fucking morning that we get off this boat. So because we were some of the first people off, we were able to get like an Uber kind of no problem. But we tried to go to breakfast. Fam, we were stuck in traffic for like at least an hour. Like, our guy, I guess, did not know the marathon was happening. This happened to so many people. Got so stuck, literally moved like 3 blocks in an hour. So we got out of the Uber with all of our luggage and lugged our shit 15 more minutes. Meanwhile, it's like 80 something degrees. I'm in a sweatshirt because I'm an idiot and didn't remember that I'm in Miami. Like, pouring sweat, down bad, dragging all my fucking luggage to this restaurant. Like, to say the morning after the cruise was bad, like, we were just, I'll leave it there. I was down bad. So that's of no fault of like Groove Cruise, but you know, there was a fucking marathon and half of the town was shut down. So that was not fun. But other than that, like, we were off the boat really, really quickly. So, okay, I need to wrap up this episode. I have so much shit in here. The last few things I want to mention. So I already talked about my subscribers and you guys that I got to meet, like, so many nice people. There was one night too, I think it was the last night, where I was just eating by myself because I had to like rush. And I made a new friend, Chris. He came and he was like, "Are you eating alone? Can I sit with you?" I was like, "Sure." We had a little nice conversation. So yeah, people were just so friendly and so nice. It was so easy to meet people. So I can't recommend the vibes enough. And I haven't even said this yet. Groove Cruise skews on the older side. Not that everybody is older, but there was a lot of like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s plus. I saw a grandma in a wheelchair. Like, it was fucking amazing. I appreciate it being in my 30s so much. They know how to fucking party. I will say that. It was a wild crowd. People were responsible. They can handle their shit. So yeah, it is a little bit of an older crowd, which is really, really nice. So if like you are like nervous about that, it's an amazing thing. Because if you're like, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm too old for raving," like, you're never too fucking old for raving. There's like 1,000,001 people out there who are down for the same stuff as you. So just wanted to point out that. And then I kind of mentioned this already for like the late night sets, some tips and advice. Like I said, nap time is huge. There's a Starbucks on board. There's Red Bulls, like all that kind of stuff that you need. And then last few things before we'll get into pros and cons. I just want to say to the team, I have to shout out the Groove Cruise team because it has been such a pleasure to work with them from the beginning. Like, I signed on with them in November 2022. So this cruise was over a year coming for me, and I was pregnant at the time, and I was so nervous about like, okay, my son's going to be 5 months. Like, how am I going to feel about that? Is that enough time to leave him? Like, there were just like so many thoughts in my head, but I just knew that this was going to be a really amazing opportunity. And the team has just been so wonderful. Like, it still has that like mom and pop feel, even though this was the 20th anniversary sailing and they have been doing this for so long. Like, Jason and the team, Maley, Skeeter, like Lisa, everybody that I've worked with, the Jamie Sloan PR team, like Charlotte, Hannah, it was incredible. They are so accessible. Like they say, like, we are the captains of the ship. Like, you have captain support. They take care of you so well. They are concerned, you know, for everyone. And you run into so many people who are like groove cruisers for life. Like the amount of people I met that was like their 7th, their 8th, their 14th, like they've been coming for fucking ever. So I think that says a lot about the culture that they're creating there. And again, like, Jason's the founder of Groove Cruise. I bumped into him so many times on this ship. He's just hanging out. He's vibing. Like, it's just amazing how accessible they are. He got so emotional throughout the weekend. Like, it's just such a wonderful team, and they really, really care about the experience and their captains. So I just have to shout them out because it has been such a pleasure working with them. I'm so excited to support them and go back again next year. And then the last thing too, because a lot of you guys asked me about my son, and I will say, like, I didn't know how I was going to feel because, again, it was like my first festival, and I've booked other festivals for the year because I didn't know how I was going to feel. So going there, I was okay because my husband was at home with my mother-in-law. She flew up. So I knew he was in good hands, and he's also like 5 months was like a good amount of time I felt ready to go on this trip. When I was there, I was so distracted. So like people were like, how are you? How are you doing? And like obviously he's like the back of my phone. Like I look at him every day, but like I turned off the baby monitor because I was like, I can't mentally be there right now. So I like thought about him the whole time, and I missed him so much. And I think one thing I would do differently next time is like I was just kind of like texting my husband the whole time. We didn't really like call. We would send like photos and snaps to each other. So I didn't hear my son's voice for like 4 days, and I think that fucked me up a little bit because when I came home and I saw him in his crib, like I just burst into tears. Like I was fucking hysterical, and I get emotional thinking about it now because like I just hearing his voice and like seeing him in person, I just realized like how much I miss, and he's so young and he's growing so quickly, and I think it just like all like waved over me, and I was like guilt, like all these things just hit me because I was like, how could you take these days away from him, blah, blah, blah. But now that I've had like 2 weeks to let it all settle in, like we're back to our normal routine, like nothing, you know? So I think it was so important for me to do this. I love what I do. I had so much fun. Like moms need mom time for themselves. Like you need to have your personality. You need to have your hobbies. I had so many amazing things happen for work, and he was okay. He needed that bonding time with my husband. So I'm so glad I did it. What I did learn, though, is that I don't want to be away from him too much while he's so young. So I have a commitment to Beyond Wonderland. I'm going to that one. But Project Glow is now up in the air for me because I was like, I don't know. I just don't think I want to do as many trips this year while he's under a year. So that was like a lesson learned for me. I kind of was like, okay, yep. That was really fun. I'm glad I did it, but I don't want to take too many trips this year. Like I need to space them out. So that was a learning lesson for me personally. And if anyone's in the same boat, you get it. It's just everything gets out of whack. I'm looking at my dog, my husband, like mom's the head of the household. You know what I mean? So when she's gone for a couple of days, like everything is out of whack. So yeah, anyways, we survived the trip. It was incredible. It was so worth it, but I missed my son like absolutely terribly. So anyways, you guys, holy shit, this is over an hour, but it was necessary. So last thing I want to tell, I'm going to just recap because I've gone over so much, but let me just really quickly recap my favorite parts of Groove Cruise. The vibes in the crowd, like I mentioned, so funny, so creative. The costumes were amazing. People were so friendly. The gifts that they gave out were amazing. I felt safe the whole time. Like I wasn't sure if I'd feel safe like walking back to my room. No issues at all. I was alone like plenty of times. I felt so comfortable. I liked that the crowd was a little bit on the older side. I appreciated that. My group was obviously my favorite part of Groove Cruise. Like we just had the best crew ever. And I'm so grateful that they trusted me because everyone in our group was virgins. Like it was the first time. And again, we all rebooked and like everyone was so like thanking me after. I was like, why are you guys thanking me? Like, thank you for coming. Thank you for spending the money. Thank you for trusting me to come on this journey. And hashtag no regrets. Like literally we all walked off the boat and rebooked and then some. So we have the same crew for next year plus more friends, and it's going to be fucking fantastic. That is just the wildest group of people. I'm taking those stories to the grave. My favorite sets, because I didn't really mention this, Max Styler, you guys, he's like my favorite artist of the moment. He was like the number one person I wanted to see, and he was fucking incredible. He's one of the best producers. Like the way John Summit blew up, like he's gonna blow up next. He's so good. My whole group was like, Emma, thank you for this. This is amazing. They loved him. Gabriel and Dresden, it was my first time seeing them. It was just one of them, but the most amazing trance vibes. Like he was in the theater stage. It was like fucking incredible. Loved every second of that. The last day, the John Summit and Friends takeover, that whole night, it was like Deeper Purpose, back-to-back Biscuits, into LPGOB, into John Summit. Like that whole thing was immaculate. And then the Ophelia takeover, I really loved Kess. I loved Amity. It was my first time seeing him. He's an incredible singer, performer. Years of War was amazing. They played like a bass house set in the theater that was so good. Like I mentioned, I'm a huge Joel Corey stan, so Joel Corey and Tiesto, and then Vanessa's Pool Deck set that I saw was fire. So those are like some of my favorite sets from the whole weekend. Again, I mentioned the theater stage was my favorite. I loved that they had seats so you could just kind of like relax. My favorite themes were the 50 Shades of Nintendo and the Dancing Through the Decades theme. Huge highlight for me was the balcony room. Could not recommend it anymore. Very spacious. I'm glad I booked a balcony again for next time. Super excited about that. The decor was amazing. The room decorations were amazing. So funny. So I hope we continue doing that. Activities, like I mentioned, I will for sure be doing different activities next time. I want to just try out everything. I want to go get my tarot cards read. I want to get a tattoo. I will probably do another yoga class because being able to like breathe and stretch and like take a fucking breather was so necessary. So I will definitely do another yoga class. And then I kind of want to do an artist dinner. I was going to do the Gem and Tori hibachi and I didn't, but I think I'm going to do an artist dinner next time just so you get like more time with them. Food was good. Like I said, I didn't really get to eat much on this cruise, so next time we will make up for that. Huge pro is that artists will play multiple sets, so if you miss them one time, you have a chance to see them again. I think they did a good job of booking different genres as well. Like Groove Cruise does skew way more house music and trance. There was a lot of techno, and there was a lot of like melodic bass, not as much dubstep or bass music. So if that's your jam, there's some of it, but there's not a lot of it. Maybe that will change next year, but just letting you guys know that. Like I said, there's something for everyone. Activities, music, competitions. You can nap, you can sunbathe. There was go-karts, there was water slides, there was arcade room, casino. Literally, you take your pick. The free ice water everywhere, the little touches that they had to improve your experience, the team and how accessible the staff was, meeting the artist. Sorry, I'm just breezing through this. And then, like I said, how easy it was to navigate such a large ship. It was way easier than I thought it was going to be. So I really appreciated that. We were always able to find our group. My friend Jen did have a totem with her, so that was like really helpful. No issues with theft. Never felt concerned about that at all. So that was great. I also had my lunchbox on me and my snack pack, so that helped. And then the island day. I loved the change of pace. I loved getting off the boat, like having these small intimate sets with these DJs was like such a fucking good time. So lastly, things to improve. I really do not have that many complaints. The main things that our group kind of collectively felt, some of the bartenders were slow a little bit, and some of the restaurant help was slow. So that might just be a Norwegian thing. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll compare it to Royal Caribbean, but there was like a couple times like food took a really long time at the sit down dinners, and like one time the staff like didn't like listen to us well. We were like trying to get our food boxed up to go, and they like, I don't know if they couldn't hear us. I don't know, but some of the bathrooms got very crowded. So near the theater in particular, I think on both sides it was like a one-person stall. So that just happened to be that floor. So it was just super easy to like run down a flight of stairs and come back up. But some of the bathrooms got crowded. I think I mentioned this, but we booked the Mexican restaurant for dinner, to come to find out that it basically like didn't exist. They built the Martian Circus space in the Mexican restaurant. So like our reservation just didn't exist. So that kind of sucked because we were looking forward to it. One other thing I'll mention, the PDA / like sexual nature of this event is high. If you're not comfortable with that, that's just something to think about. Groove Cruise highly emphasizes consent. Consent is sexy. Consent is important. So it's something that just like you should know about, because like people are very comfortable with their sexuality. People are in little to no clothing a lot of the times. So like you're going to see some shit. That's all I'll say. You are going to see some shit. And if you're not comfortable with that, that might be something you want to think about. But it didn't bother me at all. I think there could be some more diversity with genres. I think they're going in that direction. But again, like I did see some complaints in the Facebook group. People like were hoping for more bass music. I love house and techno and trance, so it doesn't bother me as much. They did like a Taking Back Emo night, which was very popular. So like they did do different takeovers, which was cool. Some people had random charges on their card. So again, I don't know if that was like a Norwegian thing, but just check your card afterwards. I did have issues with my room card. Like they basically like wouldn't accept my credit card and I had to go fix it, and it happened to me twice. So I don't know like what was going on with my card, but that was like a little bit of an annoyance. There was, I don't know if it happened during other sets, but in Biscuit's set, his music cut out twice and I felt so bad for him. And I think it cut out during Diplo's set, I heard. So that was the only time that happened throughout the whole weekend, but that was like a sound issue that they had. And then, like I mentioned, the Wi-Fi, for the most part, worked no problem. There were a couple times where it did crap out, and I paid for premium Wi-Fi. So hopefully they can alleviate Wi-Fi issues next year. And then last but certainly not least, like I mentioned, leaving the ship. Leaving the ship was easy. The struggle in the morning, though, and like how on top of you they are on the loudspeaker literally gave me anxiety. And I was like, get me off this boat. And then we hit traffic from the marathon, which is not Groove Cruise's fault. That was the city of Miami. But yeah, like I said, I literally left the ship being like, next year I need to sleep more because I can't function on no sleep. So anyways, woo, that was a doozy, guys. I told you I was going to go through literally everything, and we have. And I hope this review was helpful. Again, please feel free to book with my code raveculturecast, all one word. It's going to be a fucking amazing experience. Like, I have not had feelings like this about a festival since EDC Vegas when I first went, and I like literally thought about it every single day until the next year. Like, that's how I feel. I have thought about Groove Cruise every single day since leaving, and I cannot wait. Like, I'm just looking forward to it so much. Just the energy, the experience, the fact that it's a bigger boat. Like, this boat looks incredible. The stages are going to be amazing. Like, I'm so excited for the island. Like, it's just going to be such a good time. So again, I'm on deck 12 if you want to book on deck 12 with code raveculturecast. It's going to sell out in like the next few weeks to month. So definitely act quickly, get your whole group fam, your Rave fam together. Let's all go. It's going to be amazing. And of course, you guys can follow along with us on social media. We are at raveculturecast, and I am at Emma Capotis on all of the platforms. And if you guys enjoyed this, please share it with your fam today. Rate, review, subscribe, do all the things. And I will see you next week with a new episode. Love you guys. Bye.